Okay, I'm Cheryl Glover, and
I'm Dave Miller.
and we are Touch Mother Earth.
Nonprofit.
And we are a nonprofit that takes events like this and brings them into nursing homes and senior centers and rehab centers. And you can reach us at www.touchmotherearth.org. So thank you for being with us. I have been a channel for, I don't know, 35 years, something like that. And I'm blessed to be here with Spirit and have my husband Dave accompany me on the gongs. And the solstice is about a time of change, and I cannot think of a better time to embrace change than the solstice of 2020, where we need to change our attitudes, our sense of humor, our balance, our health, our ability to fight disease and resistance, our attitudes towards each other, and to bring in more light and more love in the planet. So this solstice, even though when we talk about the solstice, we talk about a darkening, okay, of light, it is really about what's going to be on the other side of the darker night, the darker day to the lighter day. And so we bring in the energy where we'll work on all of those things and come out the other side of the daylight a better person, a better version of ourselves, a more loving person, a more giving person, a more generous person, a more calmer and peaceful person, as an example, more prosperous person, a more attracting more love, more light, more wonderful things for yourselves, your families, and the whole world. So with that, I'd like to ask to bring in the Ascended Masters and the Great Spirit. I ask for the presence of the Archangel Michael, and I bring in all the archangels. And I ask the Archangel Michael to protect us where we are and where you are, where your families are. Bring in the protection. And what we mean by protection means, you know, the negativity that is out there, that which is not light, is not allowed into our presence as we make holy space. And you can make holy space anywhere, in your homes, in your heart is the most important place to make holy space. And so we make holy space in our hearts where we keep the energy of light and we commit to the light. And when you commit to the light, your life follows after that, because you have stepped in the light, you've accepted the light, you exude light, and you bring out to the world light. And so then the law of attraction works, and you are bringing in more light at that point. And when you bring in more light, your life changes. And that's all you need to do, is to accept change. And I always feel that when you get a pandemic or something like that, something that is affecting the whole world, that we are being tested in our challenge to accept change every day, to be fluid, to be flexible, to allow ourselves to change for the better and create better lives. And so we bring in the Archangel Michael to protect our sacred space. And we ask all of Spirit and all of the archangels to be present and to give us their words, their blessings.
Could we ask you guys to mute yourselves, please?
journey with me today under the night sky, where we can see the stars and we see the mountains, and we touch the water in the stream, and we allow the sky to touch us, and we touch Mother Earth. Well, we send our energy down and connect with the roots of the trees, and we send our energy up and connect with the sun and the stars and the divine Great Spirit. And we become one with the universe, with the divine force, and with each other. Good evening. I am the prophet Elijah, and I bring to you this evening the word of compassion to open your hearts and we ask you to open your hearts in a special energy right now, an energy where you allow the light in and just visualize that energy opening your heart as wide as possible. This is the energy of love, of light, of the divine presence within you. When that divine presence enters into your body, into your spirit, there is nothing else. You are one with your planet. You are one with the universe, and you are one with all of us, one spirit. In one spirit, you can commune with each other, with the divine spirit. In one spirit, you can create miracles, and you can enact change. You just must embrace change. There is a difference between wanting change and embracing change. When one embraces change, you are willing to let go of that future. Let go of where you are and trust that there are only better things in the future. I dare say to you that if I said in 2019, I wish you to let go and embrace 2020, you would not have done it. And now that 2020 was a year that was havoc, that was everything you didn't want it to be, for the most part, you would be willing to let go of 2020 and embrace the new. But this is a hard lesson that did not have to be learned. For you should always embrace change with flexibility and know, if your faith is strong, that things will be better and better and better. It is the lack of faith in the universe and the response of the universe that clamped everyone down and did not allow for the possibilities of change for the better. And when you do not allow for the possibilities, you attract the darkness, not the light. Hence your year. Lessons are often challenging. And challenging lessons are often memorable. But the result of those challenges and conquering the challenging and stepping through and embracing the light, embracing the change, embracing the love can be a profound experience. An experience you should not want to miss. There are those that will go into the change kicking and screaming and will not see it as a blessing. And there are those with ascended consciousness that will embrace the change ardently, lovingly, passionately, and willingly. If you do not embrace change as you have not in the 2020, it produces more pushback, more negative light, more darkness, more strain, more stress, and more illness. This is. If you embrace change, whatever may come, and know in your heart of hearts, in your spirit of spirit, that your spirit of light, your soul of light, your spirit of compassion, your spirit of giving, your spirit of appreciation, your spirit of talent, your spirit of love, your spirit of peacefulness will bring the light and beautiful futures for all. Change is the biggest challenge for the species. You fight the slightest change, including a change that brings you from a bad environment to a good one, a bad relationship to a good relationship, a bad business to a good business, a bad illness to a good illness, a bad attraction of the light to a good attraction of the light. All that is ill in your life can be changed by embracing change. Full embracement of change is not easy for your species. For you get into habits, your DNA gives you safety, your fear of danger, your fear of something even worse than you have. So you will sit in the fire instead of next to the fireplace in the future. And so we wish to help you go from the fire to enjoying the fireplace. We wish to help you from sitting in the danger, in the lack, in the disease, in the loneliness, in the anxiety, to embrace a full future. How does one embrace, you ask? You do not embrace it with your mind. But those of you who are logically trying to figure out what you should change and you should embrace, and you're making a list of do-goods and do-nots, the list will not get you to the embrace state. What makes you embrace something is letting go and being in it and having no fear or doubt. It is equivalent to a marriage. It is equivalent into a lifetime commitment. It is equivalent into jumping in and investing in a huge business. It is equivalent to laying it on the line, putting everything into it. It means you are committed to that change. You are willing to ride, to take the boat ride, to ride the tidal wave, to be in the flow, the full flow in the now, so that you may embrace the tomorrow. The path of enlightenment is full with challenges. The more challenges you receive, the more tomorrows you have of receiving and accepting change. For without change, there is no life at all. Your very bodies are embodiment of change, which is why viruses can live inside of them. Your bodies change and you go with that flow. Do not believe, but because your body has changed with a contaminant, that you could not fully recover, for you can. Your body changes every 5 years and can embrace the new tomorrows with a greater health. So yes, this was a year that your great-grandparents lived through, some of your parents lived through, definitely your grandparents lived through, and your great-great-great-grandparents did, and your great-great-great-grandparents did. You are not unique to it. For in every generation there is a challenge, and we want you to know we have survived them, you will survive them. For death is never the end, remember. It is just the beginning where spirit is free. And so no matter what, you will go on, life will go on, we will go on, and the oneness of us will go on. We cannot speak to individual issues, for individual issues is not an issue. It is the greater idea, the greater growth, the greater change. For change is equivalent to growth, and grow you must, and grow we all must. Your planet needed growth in a major way. It needs you to rethink your values, and that those values were important to you, and you have. You needed to rethink your state in the planet, your state in the universe. And you did. You needed to rethink your relationships and what was lonely and what wasn't, and how to commune and how to connect, and what was important, and what you deserved, and what you needed, and what you still need. And you have been given the winter of your soul, the winter of your spirit to do that. This is a blessing. For if you did it alone, you would feel loneliness that you could not believe. For to sit alone in the winter of your soul and have everyone else out dancing is even worse. And so we gave you the winter of the earth, the time to think, to commune, to connect with a technology had never been known, which your children had been telling you about. And you had time to go back to the value of parenting your children. And that generation is blessed. This is the generation that will receive the blessing of the winter of your spirit. For they spent time with their parents, their grandparents, and they learned to value the human equation. They understand fragility of the human body. They understand the value of teaching, of communicating, of being one with their family, and how they yearn to grow that family into a tribal union. When you emerge from the winter of your soul, and emerge you will, we will give you a secret of why you are anxiety, and why you are lonely, and why you feel the pain of this. It is because you feel time, and we do not. We were there in 1918 at the lament of the soul of that generation. And now we are here with you. And time is that. But for you, you are anxious over time. The 9 months it takes to produce a baby, you see that as a blessing because you know at the other end is a baby. And yet the 9 months you must wait to emerge the birth of your new soul, the birth of an enhanced spirit, or the birth of a generation that values human values. Is beautiful. We ask you to wait, to embrace that change, to allow this generation to emerge like no other generation can. And the babies that are being born from being in quarantine, their parents being in quarantine, this is a blessing upon your earth. A blessing like no other. But yet your focus, because of your TVs, because of your Hollywood, is on all that is bad instead of all that is coming. Your roaring 20s, your happiness, your joy, you're getting out there. The beauty of the emergence of a new generation that shall take you to an Atlantean consciousness, the consciousness of Atlantis. No other time is more important for you to embrace growth, change, and your core values. go back to those values. Go back to how you understand it and embrace, fully open your heart and ask for the change. Embrace it, step into it, bring your soul to say, give me the change, give me the light, give me the way. I am willing to be the emphasis for this new generation that will emerge, that will lead us. For they were the children learned in the winter of our spirit, the time of spirit, the time of our pregnant souls, waiting to emerge this greater enlightenment, the time of the consciousness of Atlantis.